Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets five big booms. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Hello, Tawa. You are our second person we're interviewing. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm chill. What about you?
Doing pretty good. It's been a slow day so far, so we're just trying to get through it. But we are here to talk about just kind of kind of you and after Charlotte, how stuff's going. Tawa, now you're on a three-car team, I think, or a four-car. I'm not sure, four or three, whatever. But your teammates really are not active, and it concerns me because how is having an active teammates impacting you? Like, how is it impacting you?
Well, to be honest, we started out great, with the Daytona 500 and also the Clash. That was kind of just, that's different, like super speedway racing that goes beyond having teammates. It's kind of just making friends and saying, hey, I'm a good pusher, I'm a good receiver, I can get us to the front, I have speed. So early on, I didn't really care about it much. I think when I started to worry was after Vegas. Because at least Vegas, it's an intermediate, it's your standard intermediate, and it's like we ran a pretty good race there. Um, my team, my wife, tech team, and it's you know, I I mean, in the group chat, it is fairly inactive, although the owner would like to talk. See, the main problem is my teammates are not American. In
Hmm.
um, this league is not friendly to anyone that is outside of America.
No, don't say that.
So no, but that's the thing though, right? What I mean by that is I don't mean in terms of like sentiment or anything. I was saying, oh, we hate Europeans. I'm just talking the race times. I mean,
Oh
we have
yeah.
to vote on this every single week, and I was never a fan of that from the start. So
Mm-hmm.
now you have, last week for Charlotte, or yeah, Charlotte. I mean, it was pretty close. I voted for five so that my teammates, my team owner could show up, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're in Europe. They're like, I mean, the what? It was 5:45 and 8:45 is the
Yeah.
options or something like that.
Yeah.
And there it would be past midnight for them. It'd be like 1, 2 in the morning, and you know how long VizTa races last
Oh
too.
yeah.
So even if we started racing at 5:45 EST, they would still be racing into midnight.
Oh yeah.
Um so, that's pretty tragic, It's like they can't even help it, being inactive and it's not like they have the time on their hands too. They're younger, they got school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really tragic to be honest and at first I was kind of like, come on, guys, you're not gonna leave it to hang like this. But at the same time, it's really not that serious. I mean, road racing, I
Yeah.
wouldn't really flip my sleep schedule upside down for road racing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, it's just unfortunate. I have expressed that I previously expressed that I would want to switch teams, but at the same time, it's like I don't know where I'd go, and even if I did, I'm fine where I'm at.
I heard you brought up you started the word during Vegas, and that kind of made me like curious. What do you think has been like the worst race this season for you? Like not in like the league general, but for you.
Um, gotta say, ooh, I gotta say Indy. I'm gonna be real.
Mm.
Qualified really great at Indy. In fact, did I not get pulled at Indy? I forgot where I qualified there. I'm gonna be real.
You got top five. I know that.
And yeah, definitely, I was definitely up there. Actually, ooh, I forgot we had Watkins Glen too.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
that race was intense.
ooh. I don't know. Either Indy or Watkins Glen. Both races, my main problem, especially racing in leagues like this, I guess bigger leagues that are, and I mean, this league isn't at its peak yet in terms of popularity.
Oh
I know
no.
that it's a new league, but these guys that we're racing with really talented. Like I can't join. Get on the track and be like, oh yeah, I'm the best guy. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
best guy on the track right now. But um, it's just like I'm not really consistent. Um, I can have speed, I'll set a good qualifying line, put myself in a good position for starting the race. But then now I'm dealing with pressure that I build upon myself. And it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of mishaps that happen to me, or just generally just not being raced the way that I should be. And have my race ruined from one little thing. Um, that happened in Indy. In Watkins Glen, I just couldn't get the bus stop right, and that ultimately, I ended up winning a stage,
Mm-hmm.
but after that, I crashed multiple times, and it was just terrible. After each crash, I would just be worse and worse, less and less determined to, kind of fight back and get myself back into a good finishing position. But yeah, that I think it's either Watkins Glen or Indy. I mean, I got put to the back at Charlotte, but at least Charlotte was kind of fun for me. At least at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, the first half
Oh
of the
yeah.
race, I had really a lot of fun. Watkins Glen, my hands were just sweating the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis, it was okay. It was just that I knew that there's people there that were just much faster on average.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just me hoping it would be a caution fest, but that didn't really turn out to be at the end. So that was unfortunate. Um, yeah, I gotta say, probably, yeah, either Watkins Glen or Indy. I can't choose.
I saw I was looking through like the races, like all that, like the streams, and I saw like I think I saw that like you were up there in Watkins Glen with like 15 to go. Like you were there, but like you hit the like inside the bus stop and just imploded basically. Like you fell back so far. It was
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, I don't know. It was just because, yeah, that bus stop. I don't know. I don't want to say it was necessarily like entirely my fault. I also think that the setups were kind of interesting in the way the cars would handle it. It's like I just couldn't. I don't know. I mean, I guess it was a skill issue considering no one else was like, at least no one else ahead of me was like, making all these mistakes to the point where they
Mm-hmm.
would fall back as much as I did. But I don't know. I would go on the bus stop thinking everything's okay, and then all of a sudden the car just doesn't want to turn, and I'm in the wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I go really wide, and now I have to look behind me to make sure that I'm not merging into someone. So it that quickly takes away the time, and I mean it's like at the same time I don't have a lot to work with. It's like I'm barely faster than whoever's ahead of me. Like if I'm gonna try and get them or get back to them, it's gonna take really long. It's gonna take a lot of work, and I mean, it was just a terrible setup, I think. And I'm not talking about the setups, the car setups. I'm just saying it was a terrible scenario for me, as a driver. So, hopefully, I don't know if there are any. Oh, yeah, there are. There is another road course. Hopefully, I'll be able to bounce back on another road course because I do enjoy road racing and
Mm-hmm.
road racing. And yeah, no, that's really all I can say about that.
Yeah. Considering Watkins Glen had a lot of instances where people like were spinning and all that, people were just like kind of messing up. That brought a lot of drama on the track, and most people want to avoid it. But why do you? You've been getting caught up in it recently, but like, why do you think it's important for you to like going forward to just avoid the drama on the track and just let the race come to you?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, you can be aggressive. You can kind of, um, beat on your chest and, um, you know, uh, kind of just appear to be, aggressive. And at the end of the day, that's just going to make it tougher for you, especially if you get caught up in the pack. No one's really going to respect you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be harder to, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm side by side with this person. I think we'll have a respectful battle. Maybe he'll, even give me some leeway, help me get back up into the top five or whatever the situation may be. I think that if you want to win races, you need to have a good majority of people that can, tolerate you, not necessarily like you, but just be able to, at least say, hey, you know what? He is another driver like I am, and we have a common goal. I
Mm-hmm.
think that you know on track relations are always going to be important, especially and I mean. the way we can communicate, it's not like real life. It's not like, how we can just type in the chat while we're driving, even though it's
Mm-hmm.
not really safe. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, and it's like, people they've used that to their advantage. They've
Yeah.
had that work against them. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's very important. Very important to have good on track relations, not get yourself caught up in anything.
Go into, you mentioned that like it's very important to like have on track relations. Like my next question is, has anyone like reached out to you and said, "Hey, we can be allies on the track and like we can help each other." Like has anyone like actually like reached out and told you like, "Hey, we can work here."
No, not at all.
Okay.
And you would think that I would be that person, trying to get
Mhm.
people to work with me, considering the fact that I don't have teammates. Literally, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have teammates who can show up and drive with me every single race. I'm sure they'll be able to make at least one race this season,
Mhm.
but um, you know, as of right now, I'm basically lone. It's just me. I'm a solo act. But nah, I just kind of ride the wave and see what everyone's doing. I try and get around. People they get caught up. I get caught up. It's whatever. I don't know, man. If I have speed, I won't have to worry about it. If I don't, then I won't. And it's just I'm just waiting for tracks where I know I'll be able to take advantage of the lay of the land, despite the fact that I don't have any help. But now that you bring it up, it probably is a good point, a good place for me to start. If I want to see better finishes week in and week out.
Was that Daytona win just the beginning of your season, or have you just kind of like? Do you think you fell off recently?
Well, I mean, if you just take a look at my finishing positions, I think the obvious answer would be, oh yeah, no, he's fallen off. He hasn't been finishing well recently. I mean, if we look at my past few races, they really have not been the best. I don't. I think there's really no place for me to actually a lot. I could go into Well, I don't know. Hold on. Well, let me take a look at the because I know. I mean, there's race info, so I could look at my finishes
Mm-hmm.
there. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I got what? I mean, I got put to the back for Yeah, I got put to the back for Charlotte, like we mentioned, and then what was before that? Nazareth, I'm pretty sure.
Nazareth.
Um,
Yeah, I think so. Nazareth.
yeah,
Yep.
I got sixth there. There's like 12 people who got finishing points. Before that, I got seventh. You know what I'm saying? I got and what track was that? That was at the Glen. I got seventh at the Glen,
Mm-hmm.
and then what was before that? We had Indy, I think, which is my worst finish of the season so far of 11th, and
You actually got
and
12th
then
at Charlotte.
Vegas. Yeah, yeah, I got put to the back, so 12th.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay, never mind. All right, so I mean, yeah, because I finished the race ninth, but then I got penalized. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, I guess you're right. Yeah,
You started off
um,
great. I mean, you
I
won
did. Yeah,
Daytona. You finished third at Las Vegas, then 11th at Indy. Then we go to Glen. You got seventh, respectable for how much was happening at the time. Then we went to
yeah,
Nazareth, got sixth, and then Charlotte, man, 12th.
yeah. So, I think you can tell that. I mean, penalties aside and all that. I mean, I've really been trying my best despite all of my own mishaps. I mean, normally you'll see me finishing mid pack, and I mean Vegas was also a great race for me. I think I'll be good at some more intermediates because I mean end of the day, at the beginning of the season, we've already been racing a lot of unique tracks. Tracks that are unique to they're iconic,
Mm-hmm.
really. Glen, Indy. I mean Charlotte was really unfortunate because it turned into a hellhole, and I think I could have finished there as well as I did at Vegas. I think I definitely did have a decent amount of speed, but I was really tired. It was really late at night, so. And I was also right on the verge of my spring break, so I was finishing up assignments that same day, stuff like that. Really wasn't a great environment for me. I mean, I really wasn't feeling good after that race.
Mm-hmm.
but um, I think that I'm still optimistic, despite the fact that, I mean, Daytona. Listen, I don't mind Daytona being the place where I win, okay? Because
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, shoot, I can win there. I don't have to completely stress over, the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Making it in, of course. Now I kind of have time to run my races and see what my strengths and my weaknesses are. Um, so right now I feel like I'm not really too concerned about where I'm finishing. Um, you know, if we take away um Indy and Charlotte, third, seventh, and sixth. I mean,
That's respectable.
at at Indy and not Indy, sorry. At Nazareth and the Glen, I mean, mistakes were made. We went up and down, and you have to also take into account the fact that, I frequently get stage wins. Um so I mean, I've picked up a few stage wins this season. I'm just trying to, also get good points, even if I don't have the best of the day, a best of a day. I'm just trying to stay afloat, especially in the standings. Right now, I mean, ever since the first race at Daytona, I've only gone downwards. I've only gone backwards. I don't know where in the standings I'm at. I think I'm second, either second or third. I'm third right now, just
Mm-hmm.
1 point behind Boone, you know. But right now, I mean, if you look at fourth, they're 50 points behind me.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, right now it's kind of a three-horse race the regular season, which, to be honest, I'm not even concerned about either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one reason why I joined this league was because of how much I was looking at. I saw the Robux. I'm gonna be honest. I saw
Oh
the
yeah.
Robux. I
I
was
did
like,
too.
hold on. All right, hold on. I get behind this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been looking at the races, crown jewel, stuff like that, which is kind of why Charlotte was a little bit of a bummer. Because I saw you were about to win, and you couldn't get it done. You had Citry there.
Yeah, yeah, Charlotte was mostly a disaster for everyone except for Citrix because he got the win.
Yes.
But um I've noticed over the past like few races, especially Indy, whenever you get caught up in something, it usually, I mean, it takes everyone a long time, but I have noticed that it takes you especially long to get back up to like where you were, or maybe back up to like maybe like the top 5. It takes you a really long time to do that. Do you know why this is, or maybe just putting too much pressure on yourself?
Yeah, definitely the second part. Too much pressure. Honestly, I kind of like, what's the word? I mean, I kind of sympathize or empathize. I don't even know the difference anymore. But I kind of see myself, or I put myself parallel to someone like, say, Bubba Wallace, who's had his mental struggles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see him on the track, and it's like you look at his teammate Reddick, who's out here winning races
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff, and then there's him who sometimes you'll see him start up front, you'll see him have a good qualifying effort, show some speed. I mean, he won a race a few years ago, but it's like now it's like, he'll kind of just fall back and get caught up in the pack, and you'll never really see him um up front, in the top 10 consistently. Obviously, there are times, I remember last year at Texas, I was really hoping that he was going to get that. Um, but it was a Bayern win, sadly,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a bit off topic, but my point is that, I kind of, it is definitely a battle for me, especially mentally. And I mean, physically, it's like usually I'm sleep deprived and I'm tired and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada. It's like, I don't really have like the full drive to really get going, and consistency. Once I make a mistake, I choke up, I make more mistakes, and that's really not how you go forward. And it's kind of like at that point, it's like, damn, hopefully a caution comes out or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of goes back to my whole thing with the regular season and when the playoffs begin. Kind of just take this time to um sit back and not stress too much. So it's like, I guess I never feel, that push to kind of say, okay, I really need to get this back on track. Um, it's really just early in the regular season, and I'm kind of just taking the ride right now. I mean, I think another driver you could think about is like Joey Logano, for example.
Mhm.
I mean, he was nowhere to be seen in the regular season last year, and he won the goddamn championship.
Yeah. He he was pretty
So
fucking good.
I'm just kind of I'm chilling. I'm getting the best finish. I'm not. It's not like I'm not trying at all.
Mhm.
I am trying for sure. I mean, I'm getting, and I'm kind of getting these mid pack finishes, um, while getting screwed over.
Oh
What
yeah.
if I get a race that goes my way? Now we're looking at maybe a top three or a win.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, week in week out, I get stage points. At least I'm doing well in some point of the race and not just having a completely terrible day. I think that's one thing that keeps me going.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just kind of I mean, struggling with going back up in the pack, it's like at that point, it's like, damn. I mean, I I guess I just don't have as much drive at the moment,
Mhm.
but I definitely don't want to keep it that way.
But is there anything like you want to bring up?
Let's talk about the owner.
Okay.
Um, I mean, and it's not. I mean, I'm not mad at him or anything. It's kind of just,
Mhm.
I didn't really like the way that he. Okay, well, let me start with this. Let me start with this. Um, I am grateful
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm thankful to have the opportunity to race in this league, and I also have to appreciate the effort, time, and money that has been put to start this league up. And I
Mhm.
really hope this league goes places. I really hope
Yeah.
this league, um, attains a good following. And by good following, I don't mean a big following, but just um, kind of like a community of quality,
Mhm.
rather than quantity.
Mhm.
I've been in many leagues where, it's like, dang, we need more members. People start inviting members, and it's like, it's a bunch of losers.
Oh yeah.
And I obviously I don't want that to happen to this place. I want this league to grow. I want this league to be the best that it possibly can be. And so it's kind of like, you know, um, the fact that the owner Boone is also racing in the league. Um, and then it's also like, because here's the thing, right? I want to
Mhm.
talk about the middle of the Charlotte race under pacing when I wrecked. Like, I think I collected someone in a wreck under pacing. I got kicked from the game.
Yeah, that was
I don't
bad.
remember exactly what happened. I don't know if I think maybe it was him directly or he saw me. I don't even remember. But I got kicked. And that put a bad taste in my mouth. I thought it
Mhm.
was Colby. I thought it was
Yeah.
Colby. It wasn't even Colby. He was the one that was actually, hosting the race. I think someone else was there. I forget.
Mhm.
But um, I didn't like that at all. It was really upsetting, and I was honestly in disbelief. In the call, I was I mean, I don't know if you remember. I mean, I wasn't necessarily like shouting or screaming or like
Yeah,
just
you weren't
like
mad. You were like just sitting there and like you were kind of
I
silent.
I just I kind of couldn't believe it
Mhm.
that he really did that, but he did. And I have to give him. I mean, the situation considered, it was looking really bad that night.
Oh yeah.
With all the cautions and pacing and all that stuff, people wrecking on the restarts, re-racking, a whole lot of re-racking. It was terrible.
Mhm.
But I do think that he could have conducted himself better at Charlotte. And I really don't appreciate what he did. It's understandable. I definitely think that this address was needed. He definitely had to
Mhm.
address the league and kind of paint out the situation for what it really is, and that's exactly what he did. But I just I've kind of just I have this feeling like like I kind of have this feeling of like some sort of hostile sentiment from him.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Um, I mean, he made his announcement. He was like, ping me when you've read. I ping him and I say I did not read it. Kind of
Mhm.
as like a joke he put,
Yeah.
just to mess with him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then he kind of made a bit of a deal out of it, and I was
Mhm.
just, like, oh Jesus, I mean, but I'm not just completely just trying to paint him to be like, a jerk or
The
anything. I
villain,
just
yeah.
didn't appreciate that, like, but it's understandable that he feels this way right now, especially after that race. But I'm just hoping that it doesn't stay this way, and that as the season goes on, we can continue to to have fun and make or display a good racing product. Um, that's really all I have to say about Boone. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to attack his character or anything.
No, he's a
I
good
think he's
guy.
cool. He's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's cool, and so I have faith in him to keep running this league and keeping it great and growing it. So yeah,
I think it's just the stress that's on him. You know what I mean? I think it's just
yeah,
like you have all these people, you want to put out the best racing product, but and again, like events that's been happening recently with him, I think that's it's respectable he's acting like this, but I think the thing I'm most concerned about is him racing in his own league. All right, Tawa, that is all we have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching the second episode of VizTa Voices featuring Tawa. I hope you enjoyed his talking because he gave really good answers and all that stuff. But we will see you next time. It will probably be maybe 2 weeks or something like that. But all in all, we will see you later. Goodbye.